Right, so we're going to jump right into the sermon this morning, and we're going to jump into phase 3 of our spiritual exercise series. And I want us to just go a little bit back and review where we've been up to now, up to this point, and why we are heading where we are heading with this whole series. And eventually lead us to what I want to talk to us about this morning. So I'm going to ask Omi if you can put the first slide up. Just a quick reminder. If you remember, I handed in the beginning of the series, I handed this piece of paper and we spoke about it. And we started off with the square. And we said the square is basically where the core 4 are. You remember what the core 4 are?
Pray.
Yeah, pray.
Fasting.
Fasting.
Worship.
Worship. And a text. Okay. And we said if you've got those core 4, we need to constantly examine that core 4. Are we alright with those core 4? And are we exercising it enough? Because prayer is important. Worship is important. Reading a Bible is important. Fasting is important. And we spoke about it that sometimes when a person comes to me and says, I've got a problem with so-and-so, the easiest way as a Christian is, I will read a Bible and pray. And yeah, that's a really good suggestion. But sometimes it might not be the right thing to do, read the Bible and pray. Maybe sometimes that person needs to really find himself in worship. Maybe that person needs to find himself in a place of fasting. And remember we spoke that fasting is not about so much asking God, waiting for God to do this thing, but rather when you fast, you're looking back at what God has already done and how much He's actually already answered your prayers. And we went as a congregation, we went on the 21, well, some of us went on the 21-day fast. So we spoke about the core 4, the importance of the core 4, and then we went into the circle and we said that the core 4 were, by the way, the inside, internal part. The circle was external. And we looked at some elements within a circle that we said can help with a healthy community. This community. And not only the church community, but the community of believers. What is a healthy community? How do we interact with each other and so on? And we finished with last Sunday talking about emotional vocabulary and how important it is to make sure that your emotions are in check. And so now we're going to be looking at a triangle, and if you put the next slide up, a triangle is the last phase. And we're moving into the last phase, and we're going to look at, today we're going to look at service, and you can see that generosity and celebration of others. And we say, if you look at service and generosity, that brings about diligence. If you look at generosity and celebration of others, that brings about charity. If you look at service and celebration of others, that brings about kindness. So now we're moving into this phase 3, and we had the internal, the core 4, we had the external, the circle, and this is internal development. In other words, the triangle is what is it that we are doing in order to ensure that this is going to carry on when our time here on earth is finished. What is the development in what we're going to focus on is a triangle. And now, as I said, 3 pieces to it. Service, generosity, and celebration of others. And these 3 disciplines are actually really important for us. Because what they do is they help us to put to death the flesh. So we're going to talk about what that is and kind of deal with that this morning. Now, there's been a debate in the Christian world since the beginning of the church. And as the church was born, there's been different debates about different things. And one of the debates, one of the conversations that was quite prominent from the beginning of the church was about the role of human beings playing in our own capacity with regards to sin and our own capacity to do good for that matter as well. There was one time early in the church history where this doctrine, which was known as the doctrine of original sin, began to emerge. Which that doctrine essentially was saying that when you are born stained with sin. In other words, you are a sinner from birth. That's what that doctrine was basically early on. And a lot of the sermons were being preached about it. And what that did is, how they came out with that is they looked at Romans chapter 5, and the way they interpreted, if you remember Romans 5, talks about sin entered the world through one man, and all men have sinned. So they said that if you die as a baby, you die as a sinner. Now, if you really unpack that, that's not true. As a matter of fact, it's not biblical either. But that's where the doctrine stood, and many conversations and arguments and splits within the church happened because of that doctrine. From that, all these different ideas and conversations started of what we do with that doctrine and as it develops. So now back in the 60s and 70s, where all we had was the King James and the New American Standard Translation, they translated flesh into flesh. So they looked at the word flesh and they translated it into flesh. Now, in the late 70s, this new translation was developed, which was known as the New International Version, or as we know, the NIV. And the NIV came out and it translated flesh into the sinful nature. And the idea of the sinful nature is that I'm not born a sinner, but rather born predisposed to sin. Okay? We are predisposed to sin. It's kind of in my nature to probably fall into sin. The problem with that is that while it is true, it doesn't really get out the flesh, does it? It's like, what is the flesh? So here's what I want to talk about for just a few minutes. The flesh is any time that we do anything to satisfy temporary desires. That's the flesh. So, for example, for me, it's chocolate cake. Okay, you guys didn't get that. I wrote there, if they laugh, just say it was a joke. But it didn't laugh. I'm joking. But the question I asked is, what is done to put away that which is of the flesh? So things like drugs and excessive drinking and etc. I mean, there's a huge list of that. And you can actually connect the dots for yourself. But that's basically what we were looking at. So I want to see if we can talk about the flesh and try to put the flesh to death. And what we're going to look at today is what Paul says is a way we can put to death the flesh. On the other side of the discussion, there is this tension that we have, and that is called freedom. Jesus Christ, birth, death, burial, and resurrection sets us free. Amen? Amen. Paul says it's for freedom that you have been set free. So we have freedom on the other side of it. But what does that look like, and when do we overextend our freedom? So we need to wrestle with this a little bit. In order to do that, I want us to look at a picture. So if we could look at the slide, next slide. Just highlight that slide and then press it.
It's showing now, but it's not going through. It's showing on the screen, but it's not going through.
Okay. Okay, so this is Paul's first missionary journey. Okay? Paul had 3, some people say that he had 4, that he basically felt that he was moved by the Holy Spirit and he was now taking the gospel away from the Jewish world. Up to that time, the gospel was really mainly for the Jews. Okay? And Paul then takes it out, and this man is Paul's first missionary journey. So he begins in Antioch. You can see there's Antioch. Okay? There's a lot of Antiochs in this day and age, but this is the one Antioch. Okay? So he begins there, and then they go over to Cyprus. They spend some time there in Cyprus. Why would they spend some time in Cyprus? Because that is where Barnabas was born, where we came from. And Barnabas and Paul went together on these missionary journeys. What's interesting about their trip is that they don't really know where they're going to next. And any missionary will tell you that often when they go on a mission trip, they don't know in the beginning where they're going to, but then they know that this is where the Lord is sending them. He opens the doors, closes doors, and then they end up going to the mission field. But once they're there, they know exactly what it is that needs to be done. Interesting with Paul and Barnabas is they didn't have a clue where they were going. They were just being led by the Spirit. They pray, and God tells them they have to go, and that's where they went. And then they go to a place called Paphos, okay, which is right here. And they meet this guy by the name of Sergios Paulos. He's a Roman official, and they meet him there. Saul, by the way, changes his name to Paul in that area. You know, all that's the whole thing. Now, Paul is the Greek, in the Greek is Paulos. So it seems as if he's taking the Sergios Paulos family name, and then he makes a beeline to the region of Pisidia, which is over here. So from here, they move all the way there. Why? Well, it's actually a long story, but the short of it is that it was Sergios Paulos' hometown. And some historians will say, well, Sergios Paulos provided a place for them to stay, and there was already a community in there, so it was easy to start the ministry from them. And then they go to the other places and back to where they started from. So from here, there was a backward and forward to this other place called Antioch, and then from here to here, back there, spend some time over here, and then right back into Antioch. And that was the first missionary journey. Now, what I want to look at is this region of the nation. Can you see this region? Okay, literally almost divided the Asia Minor into two, the region of the nation. Now, you need to know this about the region, that there are 2 different kinds of schools of thought for the Jewish people in that area. Okay? Remember, the early church was mainly made up of Jewish believers who believed in Jesus. It was later on, through the success of Paul's missionary journeys, that Romans started believing in Jesus, and Greeks started believing in Jesus, and that's why we get the scripture that says there is no Jew or Gentile, slave or master, Roman, because now it's all one. So in this region, for the Jewish people, there were 2 schools of thought. There was the Hillel school of thought, and there was the Shammai school of thought. The Hillel looked at the scripture, love your God with all your heart, soul, and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. And they would say is that scripture means that we show God that we love Him by loving the people that He has made. That was then basically the way that they interpret that scripture. The other school of thought, the Shammai school of thought, was saying, love your God with all your heart, soul, and strength. And the second one is honor the Sabbath. Okay? So we show God that we love Him by obeying the rules. In other words, this group was a very fundamental group. The Shammai group was a very fundamental group. Very black and white idea. Now in Galatia, in that area, you will find mainly the Shammai guy, the guys who believe in the rules. Okay? And so Paul comes to this region of Galatia, okay, and starts preaching freedom through Christ. That because of Jesus, you don't have to do these rules following Jews in order to worship the God of the Jews. For them it was critical, incredibly critical, that they follow the rules. And here Paul comes into that area and he targets these Shammai Jews and he says, no, we've got the freedom in Christ. It's the Spirit of the Lord, not the Lord that we are under. And a lot of them thought this is a radical, incredible teaching. And so they begin to celebrate with what happens as it celebrates this freedom that Paul is speaking to them. Then there's this other group, okay, called the Judaizers. And this other group called the Judaizers come and they try and get them to go back and follow the Torah, to follow the rules. The problem with that is that now we need to understand who this group, the Judaizers, are. And a simple way of understanding them is that they were Orthodox Jews who were trying to undo Paul's ministry. A modern school of thought will say that the word translated Judaizer is a common word from anyone from the region of Judea. Okay? So they will explain about the Judaizers. So the common thought now is that the Judaizers were followers of Christ, Jewish followers of Christ from the church in Jerusalem, who were following Paul and trying to undo his message. But why? When Paul is preaching Jesus Christ, they're followers of Jesus. So why are they trying to undo all of his teaching? Because he has these conversations in Galatians chapter 1 or 2 of who he is, who Paul is, and where he comes from. And the fact that his message was validated by Peter and James, who were the elders of the church in Jerusalem and part of the original disciples. So this whole tension of freedom and rules, and how does the work is being put away, and how does the flesh then get put to death, it's all within this Jesus movement. This isn't a Jew versus a Christian. This is a conversation that is happening within the early church. These different kind of ideas. This is Jesus followers versus Jesus followers conversation that is going on in the book of Galatians. First Galatians, second Galatians. If you haven't read it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, read it. So with that in mind, I want to enter into Galatians chapter 5, which we're going to look. But before we do that, let me say, most of Paul's letters in the New Testament, he always will start his letters by saying, Paul, an apostle of Christ, and so and so and so, grace and peace to you, blah, 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 blah. I thank the Lord Jesus Christ every time I remember you. And that's how often he will start his letters. But in the Galatian letter, he begins with, Paul, an apostle of Christ, blah, 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 grace and peace to you. And then he says, I'm astonished at you that you have forgotten so quickly the things that you were taught. That's how he starts his letter. I mean, like Paul is in your face kind of thing. No, Mr. Nice Guy here. So when you read that letter, you know he means business. And the idea of freedom are now being sucked back by the Judaizers, are now being sucked back into the law. With that in mind, let's look at Galatians chapter 5. So you were running a good race, he says. Who cut in on you to keep you from obeying the truth? That kind of persuasion does not come from the one who calls you. A lot of yeast works through the whole batch of dough. I'm confident in the Lord that she will take no out of you. The one who's throwing you into confusion, whoever that may be. Now, that's a tongue-in-cheek right there, isn't it? I mean, he knows exactly, Paul knows exactly who is causing the confusion. But he's asking them, who is it that is cutting through? I mean, here he was celebrating the freedom, and now he's going back to the law. Let's carry on. We'll have to pay the penalty. Brothers and sisters, if I'm still preaching circumcision, why am I still being persecuted? In that case, the offense of the cross has been abolished. As for those educators, he's reading in the face, isn't it? He doesn't mix his words. I wish they would go the whole way and emasculate themselves. I mean, wow, really? Did he just say that out loud? Well, actually he didn't. The Holy Spirit said it through Paul. Here's the thing. He's talking about this idea of circumcision. Because circumcision was under the law. You are trading this one set of rules for another set of rules. You swapping a set of rules for another. That's essentially all you are doing, is basically saying to them. And Paul says, hey, listen, if I'm still preaching circumcision, then everything that had happened on the cross means nothing. Why did Jesus die on the cross then if I'm still preaching circumcision? So you guys who are talking about how your circumcision makes you special, why don't you be real special and take the whole thing off? Okay, I've modernized it. That's really what he's saying. Emasculate yourself. Take the whole thing off. That's what he's saying. Paul is saying, if it's about the law, then take the law to the extreme. That's what he's saying. Let's carry on and see. You, my brothers and sisters, were called to be free. Amen. Christ set you free. But do not use your freedom to indulge in the flesh. You see, there's a whole thing with the flesh that I started off. Remember our conversation about the flesh? Just because we have the freedom doesn't mean we can do with it as we like to do with it. That is not how freedom works. Freedom, and we like to use this word freedom in our country, don't we? Freedom, properly understood, is never the ability to do what you want, which is most of us understand that in our country. Freedom is the ability to do whatever you ought to. Because as soon as I do whatever I want, I impose on your freedom. Because I do what I want, but I don't care about your freedom. Which is the world that we live in right now, because everyone is stepping on everyone's toes. And everything is polarized, and it's all about what I want. That's not what freedom is. Freedom is the ability to do as we ought. So what is he saying? He's saying, listen, are you free? And if you are free, don't use your freedom to indulge in the flesh. Don't use your freedom to justify chasing temporary desires. And he carries on and he says, rather, serve one another humbly in love. So what is the antidote to indulging the flesh, according to Paul? Serving one another in love. For the entire law is fulfilled in keeping this one command. Now, why is it talking about this one command? Because remember the two other schools, the Shammai and the Hillel? Okay? They're both looking at this scripture and it says, love your neighbor as yourself. Yes, love your God with all your mind, soul, and strength. Do that. But love your neighbor as yourself. So how does Paul justify loving your neighbor? By humbly serving one another in love. That's what it means to love your neighbor as yourself. Because if you had to love your neighbor as yourself from your point of view, would you be loving your neighbor? No. But if you do it from his point of view, humbly loving your neighbor as yourself, then you put down the flesh, don't you? You're operating in the Spirit. And he goes on to say, if you bite and devour each other, watch out, or you will be destroyed by each other. So I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh, for the flesh desires what is contrary to the Spirit. So what is Paul doing now? He's showing them how does the law thing happen? It's because it's the Spirit of the law. You walk in the Spirit. So as soon as you say, I have to do this, is that the Spirit or the law? The law. But when you say, I ought to do that because it's in line with what the Scripture is saying, is that the Spirit or the law? The Spirit. And the Spirit, what is contrary to the flesh, they are in conflict with each other, so that you are not to do whatever you want, but if you are led by the Spirit, you are, say it now, not under the law. Not under the law. The acts of the flesh are obvious. And some of us look at this list and say, well, some of this list is, yeah, sure, without a doubt, I don't have a problem with that. But others were like, Paul, really? You're getting a little bit comfortable, it's too close for comfort here? And look at the list, he says, sexual immorality, purity, debauchery, idolatry, witchcraft. Yeah, that's obvious, yeah. Stay away with witchcraft, that's easy enough to do. No problem with that in that list. But look at the rest of it. It says, hatred, discourse, jealousy. Do you know what discourse is? Discourse is any time you say something bad about someone else to someone else. That's discourse. Fits of rage. I find myself getting into that about a week or so in Johannesburg. Okay. All I had to do was get into the car and start driving. You think Queenstown drivers are bad? You ain't been to Gauteng. Fits of rage. Selfish ambition. Dissension. Factions and envy. Drunkenness. Orgies. Okay, now we're back. Yes, I don't do all of that. I'm okay with that list. I'm alright with that. And the Lord says, and that's the list that he's talking about. It's quite a list. And he says, I warn you, as I did before, that those who live like this will not inherit the kingdom of God. Ouch. You know, we stop with the list where it talks about spiritual immorality, impurity, debauchery, witchcraft. I'm okay, I don't do all of that. But what about the rest? And according to Paul, in your face, he says, I warned you, like I warned you before, that those who live like this will not inherit the kingdom of God. But, he goes on, the fruit of the Spirit is love, joy, peace, spiritual because these things are operated by the Spirit. Those who belong to Christ Jesus have crucified the flesh and its passion and its desires. Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. So here is what it's saying. If you say you're a Christian, act like a Christian. Not just in the beginning of the list, the rest of the list too. Well, don't say that you are a Christian. You know what on my pet hate is especially all these reality shows that you see interview them, and there will inevitably be someone who says, I'm a Christian. You know, and like especially like the programs like Survivor, Incredible Race, and all that kind of stuff. You go, I'm a Christian, or you know, or I go to church or whatever. And the remainder of the series, they are deceiving, they are lying, they are anything but a Christian. You know what, the brother don't say that you are. Paul is all about sanctification. The process of becoming. That's what sanctification is. And he gives us the key to do that. He says, serve one another humbly in love. That's why service in that triangle, service is central to the Christian life. Not only because it helps us, not only because it helps other people to know what God is like, but because it helps me deal with my own stuff in my life too, isn't it? Let us not become conceited, provoking and envying each other, he says. His invitation to us is service. And it's a central way to know that we become more like God. Yes, it's a way to tell the world what God is like. But it's bigger than that. It's also a way that we deal with the fleshy desires that we are constantly in war with every day. Every day. We serve one another. We serve one another. You see, serving one another humbly in love, what it does is re-engineers my perspective on the world. Isn't it? So that issues that the world drives me to do, that in the first place, I think that I need to do it, they don't drive me anymore because I'm led by the Spirit. Because as I serve one another humbly in love, I'm maturing. And through that process of maturing as a Christian, I become something more like what God is. But at the same time, I think all of us have to wrestle with what does it mean to put to death the flesh. Because as much as we are called to live like a Christian, we are also called to put to death the flesh. And what does that look like? Well, according to Paul, and I think Paul has quite a good credential, according to Paul in the Scripture, the best way to do it is to humbly serve one another in love. Because if you think about it, when we serve one another in love, we are able to minister to each other about those fleshly things that we wrestle with, isn't it? Because we humbly, from the point of view that we know that we are just as much a sinner as the next person, from that point of view, we serve each other. Not because we have to, because that's the norm, but because we ought to, because that's what the Spirit leads us and wants us to do. Amen?
Amen.
Amen. We're going to sing our last song together, and I'm not going to do the benediction because the ACM is a part of the service, so we're always required to do the benediction at the end of the service. So what I'm going to do is, once we finish singing Lord I Need You, then if you want to have a cup of coffee or tea, go and grab one, and come back. Remember to collect the forms if you need to, and sign the name in. Those who need to go, you're welcome to go, and pray that the Lord will bless you in this coming week. Right, let's stand as we sing our last